Do you guys want to see the all-new way to play Lilith Loop for the BT6 format? Well, you're just at the perfect place, as we got a deck profile and in-depth combo guide for all of you today. Hello Digimon players and fans, welcome back to another new deck profile video. Lilith Loop was a very popular and hyped deck back in the BT5 format. That is because Omnimon Zwart and Mega Digimon Fusion was introduced from the Battle of Omni set. This enabled the strategy of combining it along with Lilithmon and Jack raids to make an infinite number of plays, just in one turn, which is insane. But there's one thing I kinda held back on. I felt that the BT5 version was relatively slow. Surely it's amazing when you can pop off and go with your combos and plays forever, but we gotta take into account that the fact of playing in a tournament setting, there is a time limit. And not all games are always favorable to prolong long enough for you to get into the stage to pop off. And as a result, you will actually run into time issues more often than you think. This is why I thought the deck wasn't as good as it really was during the BT5 format. And it's no surprise that the hype quickly kind of died down for that format. But all of that has changed, because BT6 has debuted a whole new powerful boss Digimon that synergizes much better with Lilith Loop and the entire combo. And that Digimon is Titamon. Titamon brings a whole new way of trashing cards, mainly from your hand, to turbo the trash pile with resources. By doing so, it helps add cards into the trash way faster than before. Not only that, there are also many other effects that help you draw even more cards while doing so at the same time. This is so that you can gather your combo pieces. And this is why I think Titamon is a perfect fit alongside with the Lilith Loop engine. And not just only that, we can actually see the surge of popularity with this deck coming back once again lately. However, we all do know that such a powerful and combo heavy deck does require quite a bit of brain power. So don't worry, because I got you. We also got a full in-depth combo guide right after the deck profile, for any of you guys who want to learn how to pilot or play the deck. So let's jump straight into it and show you guys my build first. So just before we start off with our Digi-egg cards, do you guys know what is even better than the Lilith Loop deck? Well, as you can see, there is a subscribe button right here. So go on and click on it right now. That is because we got even more deck profiles coming real soon. Also, don't forget to give this video a like, as it greatly helps with the YouTube algorithm. Alright, let's get back into it. So starting with the Digi-egg cards, we first play the 4 Tsunomons and 1 of the Demi-Meramons. Now, Tsunomon is just really good with this entire deck and with the whole synergy. We trash a lot of cards from our hands, and it's inheritable, lets us draw 1 card once per turn every time we trash. And it's just really nice because it gets deeper into our resources, draw power, and it just works very well along with all the other effects. So this card is really nice, a very nice new egg that was added from BT6 Double Diamond. Now for Demi-Meramon is another really good one to go for. I prefer Tsunomon at 4 more so than Demi-Meramon, simply because, like I mentioned, there's a lot of effects with this current build where we can trash a lot and then we can just draw more through it. But Demi-Meramon offers the on deletion draw 1 trash 1, which is still really good, but not as handy as it compares to other builds. And this is how I like to go about for the eggs. So that will be it for our Digi-egg cards. Now moving into our rookies, the first one we like to show you guys is the 4 copies of Gabumon from the Venomous Violet starter deck. This Gabumon is just fantastic because it has an inheritable, giving your Digimon when attacking, trigger draw 1 and then trash 1. And it just really helps with the whole idea of the deck of wanting to draw as much as you can in the early game, trash as much as you can while doing so, and do both at the same time, so then you can add more resources into your trash and start going into your combos later on. So I think this card is just really good and really good at doing that in general. Now moving on next, we have another very similar one. We have the 3 copies of Glabramon. I like Glabramon a lot as well, simply because you can hard play this and basically get the effect off similar to Gabumon without needing to attack, and Glabramon offers that, which is really nice, and yeah, which is why we play a 3 of. Now the next rookie we have is the 2 copies of Impmon. And the reason why we play this card is simply because that Lilithmon is considered as a 7 Great Demon Lords, where Impmon on play effect will be able to activate and grab her back from the trash. So in the early game, Lilithmon is not really useful in your hand realistically, and trashing her is not that bad. Before it felt kind of bad because you kind of want to keep her in your hand, and then when you're ready for the combos, then you go for it. But with the inclusion of Impmon from the BT6 set, this Impmon allows you to recur her back and trashing her in the early game as well, which is really nice, and it helps out very nicely, and I really like how this card works in this deck. Next we have the 2 copies of Gazimon. I mean, I mentioned this in all my videos. Memory boosting, memory gaining shenanigans is just very popular in this current format, and Gazimon is just a great counter to it generally. And then last but not least, to round off our rookies, we have 2 Candlemons, simply because of the vanilla hard drops. Just works very great when we need to choke our opponents out for memory or manipulate the memory gauge restrictively. Just a very good card in general. So that'll be it for all of our rookies. Now moving into our level 4 champions, I'm going to first show you guys the Kinkakumon, Ginkakumon, and the Ginkakumon promo package overall. So basically the Ginkakumon package, we play 3 of each essentially, and they do a whole bunch of different things, but they all synergize greatly as like a mini engine all together, which is really nice. First off with Kinkakumon is, they all provide inheritables, where when attacking you can trash 1 card from your hand to delete one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon, which is great for getting rid of rookies, anything that has annoying effects, such as like Gazimon, or like memory restricting effects, which is really good. The next one is Ginkakumon right here, where once per turn during your turn, when you trash a card from your hand with one of your effects, you get to gain a memory, which is really nice, helping you extend your turn, extend your combos, and giving you a lot of variety and options to play differently as well. Now, last but not least then, with the Ginkakumon promote. Ginkakumon promote does a whole lot of things. So the first thing it does, it has Rush, which is really nice inclusion, so that you can swing immediately when you do hard play it with other option effects or Digimon effects that helps it bring it back. But then the other really nice thing is its on-play effect. On play, you can place 1 Kinkaku and 1 Ginkakumon from your trash to its Digivolution sources in any order. And if you do place 2 of these cards, you get to trigger draw 1 and gain a memory, which is really nice. Now you get to give your Ginkakumon promote all the inheritables of Kinkakumon and Ginkakumon, which is really good. So then you can do a lot of like really cool combos along with it overall, which is why it makes this package like really nice and really important for this deck, and I like playing it overall. So we also have, for the other level 4s, is the 2 copies of Vilemon, which is our typical standard 6000 DP blocker, 2 cost to Digivolve and 5 cost to hard drop. Like I mentioned in all my videos, I like to play 6000 DP blockers way more than 5000 DP blockers, simply because it's 5000 DP blockers can be easily removed, and they can be easily like countered and taken away from the board very easily. And the Vilemon 6000 is just usually the sweet number to always have. Next we have the one Ogremon right here as like a tech choice. I like Ogremon a lot as well because it has an on-play effect. You can trash 1 card from your hand and delete one of your opponent's level 4 Digimon, 4 or lower Digimon, which is really nice and really clutch situations and handy. So it gives you another extra option to play differently depending on the situation, if you need to pop like a blocker or anything that is a rookie as well. So that will be it for all of our level 4s. Now moving into our level 5s, let's begin with our Lady Devimon right here, where we play 3 copies of her. We all know what she really does because she is just extremely good at excelling your draw power, excelling your trash, because when Digivolving, you get to draw 2 cards and then trash 2 cards from your hand. Now that doesn't include the 1 extra draw that you get from your normal Digivolving. So basically, essentially, you're drawing 3 cards, trashing 2. And that helps you just basically find all the cards you really need very quickly, and then trash the ones that you don't need or the ones that you want to have to be in the trash very fast. She also offers a very nice inheritable effect where once per turn during your turn, when you use an option card, you get to delete one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon. It just combos very nicely with this deck, and it comes in very nicely handy as well in certain situations, especially when you're playing your Jack Rays later on. Next, we have the 2 Black War Groundmons from BT5. Now, I really like this card in general because, again, it does a whole lot of things. But mainly, let's talk about its inheritable effect first. because you can attack and unsuspend by deleting one of your own Digimon to unsuspend your attacking Digimon, which is really good. So you can make multiple swings, apply a lot of pressure, and just, you know, combos very well with the whole idea of purple in general. Its main effect is Digiburst. This one is we like to use it every now and then as well, which really helps out by, you know, Digibursting 3. We can basically play a level 3 purple from our trash without paying memory cost, but we don't get any on-play effects. Unlike the Chaos Gallantmon deck profile I did a while ago, it doesn't utilize it nicely as much as it does. So we basically mainly play 2 copies, and 2 copies is all we need because of its very nice inheritable. Now moving on to more level 5s, we got the new one to showcase right here, which is the 2 copies of Skull Greymon from BT6. Skull Greymon is just a really powerful and good card by itself. I really like the versatility of Skull Greymon, of it's like kind of like a pseudo level 6 all on its own, simply because it has it when attacking. You can trash 1 card from your hand to have this Digimon gain 3000 DP for the turn, making it 10k, which is pretty strong. You know, it's just 1k DP away from being an actual like decent level 6 in general. So you can make early swings with this guy, but the main reason why we play this is because of the synergy of trashing from the hand. Now this is very interesting because this is the first time that this kind of that Digimon has this type of card where you can really utilize sort of resources and gain advantages from trashing. So if he's being trashed from your hand for like an effect, you can place it under one of your purple Digimon as its Digivolution cards, as its source at the bottom, which is really good. But not only that, because it provides an inheritable of instant retaliation, and that just gives you a lot of different like play style and combos to really like, you know, get creative with this card, which I really like. And I just think it's just a really awesome card to have, which is why I like to play it too. Last but not least, for our level 5, we have one Rebellymon, and again, Rebellymon does a whole lot of things, which is really good, because when Digivolving, you can trash 1 card from your hand and have this Digimon gain blocker and retaliation until the end of your opponent's turn. Now that's really good because it, you know, it stops your opponents like Megas from wanting to attack into you, and, you know, having a good retaliation effect and blocker just synergizes very nicely all together in 1 card. The really neat thing is, you know, it can be treated as both black and purple Digimon. It can Digivolve on top of black. However, it's lesser relevant for our deck right here because everything is mostly purple anyways, and there's no black Digimon. But, you know, it can be treated as black, and you can do a whole lot of things for different builds by combining black into it. However, it doesn't provide any inheritables basically. So that will be all of our level 5s. Now let's get into our level 6s, and the first one I like to show you guys is basically the new inclusion of Titamon from BT6, and Titamon looks really cool. I love the artwork of this card in general. Yeah, I like the pose and everything. It's just really nice. So this card is basically the boss Digimon of enabling all the trashing effects, you know, putting it all together, trashing from your hand, and giving this whole new synergy and mechanic to play purple, which is really nice. When Digivolving, you can trash 1 card from your hand, and then you get to play 1 level 4 lower Digimon from your trash without paying its memory cost. Now, the instant target I always like to think of is to play the Genkakumon Promote. And being able to do that, you can do a whole lot of crazy effects with that as well, because this allows you to use your on-play effects. You can also do Rush with it, which is really nice. So giving you a lot of versatility with all your level 4 or lower Digimon, to depending on your situation that you want, makes it very nice and a really powerful card. So the second effect is your turn. Once per turn, when you trash a card from your hand using any effect, this Digimon gains 2000 DP and security +1 for the turn, which is really nice, and letting you guys know it combos perfectly with its first effect essentially. And, you know, this is a very nicely powerful card, and I really like the whole synergy thought behind it, because it's also a 12,000 DP Digimon. It can go up to 14,000 with 2 checks. That's really good, and that's really amazing. Next, we have the 3 copies of Lilithmon right here, and yes, because this is a Lilith Loop based deck with the Titamon as its core, Lilithmon must be included without a doubt. She basically enables your your Lilith Loop strategies and your whole Lilith Loop combo, which we'll showcase you guys just in a bit after this deck profile. So when Digivolving, if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, you can return up to 2 purple options from your trash back to your hand, and your main go-to target would be your Jack Raids. That's basically what it does. She's a 3 Digivolve cost, which is very cheap, which is great. And also your turn, once per turn, when you play an option card, it doesn't have to be purple specifically, by the way, and you basically gain 2 memory. Now, what she basically will help you do with your cycling of Lilith Loop combo is that you keep doing this again and again and again, and you gain so much memory in one turn repeatedly. You can make so many plays and a huge combo, and you know, you make that big turn and you gain so much advantage just from it, which again, like I mentioned, I will showcase you guys when we get into the full combo video later. So that will be our level 6s. Now moving to our level 7s, right here we play the 3 copies of Omnimon's Sword, and I will not play any less or any more, and I think 3 is a very good number. Now the reason why we play this card is because it is partial core to your Lilith Loop combo, and you have to play this card essentially at this number, because this card is your go-to card to Digivolve on top of Lilithmon. And then by doing so, you get to trash even more cards, play more cards from your trash afterwards, which is really good. Going wide, going for that big turn. And then also when attacking, you can return your Lilithmon back to your hand and then replay her the same turn by Digivolving on top of another level 5, which can be brought back by Omnimon's Sword, and then go through that whole Lilithmon combo once again and again. And we'll showcase you guys, don't worry, right after the deck profile. But this is the main reason why we play this card, along with its built-in removal by itself as well. While you return your Lilithmon back to your hand, you can delete anything that's unsuspended with play cost 12 or less, which is fantastic and really strong as well. But yeah, no need to explain anymore with Sword. So that'll be all of our Digimon cards. Now let's go into our options and tamers. Let's first talk about the purple option cards that we play. We simply play 3 Jack Raids right here. Now I don't want to play 4 because, you know, seeing it too early in your hand can be bricky and you don't really need it. There's a lot of trashing, drawing, and cycling in this deck anyways. You get to see this card eventually. All you need it for it to be is in its trash in a later game when you have 10 or more cards in your trash, so then you can use your Lilithmon to basically recur them. So that's really all you really need to know. It basically gains a memory for every 10 cards in your trash. More cards in your trash means more value for this card, simply because it's a 0 cost. It's like the purple version of Hammer Spark, which is really nice. And then its security effect is basically gain 2 memory, just like Hammer Spark. What it does, you know, ending your opponent's turns, shortening their combos, shortening their turns is also really great as well overall with this card. So this card is perfect at a 3-up. Now moving into our white package, we're gonna show every card all together. For this, we have 2 copies of Takumi Aiba, we have 1 copy of Manoa Bellucci, and then we also have the 2 copies of Mega Digimon Fusion right here, which is our white package for white tamers and white options. For you guys who don't know about Lilith Loop, you necessarily need these white cards in order for it to operate. From the previous format, Takumi and Aiba and Mega Digimon Fusion were basically your crucial and your go-to cards. Takumi Aiba, first off, is just a really cheap tamer to play in general in the early game, which is fantastic because when you Digivolve in your Digimon, you get to tap this tamer and draw an extra card for Digivolving, which is really good because now you get to even cycle through your combos even faster, which is why I really like Takumi Aiba. Now, an important ruling to keep in note is that this only allows you to draw if your Digimon is Digivolving in the battle area. It doesn't count in the raising area simply because it's the rules, and just a little tip for you guys to know. It has a second effect. All level 3 Digimon, all turns, gain when attacking, lose 1 memory. This is really good, and it works very well with this deck in general because Lilith Loop is not an early game deck. Purple is generally not an early game deck and is not very strong in the early game, so it's very vulnerable to Rookie Rush style decks that, you know, like to swing in early and chip away a lot, and this card really helps you prevent that from happening and sort of sustain your securities at a decent level, so that makes it harder for your opponent to basically just run into your security for free, which is why Takumi Aiba is a really good card. Now the next one, Manoa Bellucci, is a new inclusion from BT6, and she is really good, but not so really good as well. This is a very interesting topic and discussion simply because we play her just to get our memory at 3 at the start of every turn. That's about it. That's the only reason why we play her. We do not do anything with the Eosmon effects at all whatsoever because we don't play any Eosmons. Once I tried this out, I realized how important it is, and it's how good it really is, because setting your memory at 3 beginning of every turn is really nice. And you guys might be asking, why not play Matt Ishida instead? Well, the whole reason is because she's white, a white tamer, and the white tamer enables you to play the Mega Digimon Fusion more consistently, more oftenly, and more frequently, and it just works out very well with the deck overall. Now, if you guys really don't like her in general, because this deck can operate without needing the 3 memory, you can play another Takumi Aiba instead. That's what I would suggest. But you know, one has worked out very nicely for me in general, simply because of setting me the 3 and being a white tamer in general. Anyways, now for our option, which is the Mega Digimon Fusion, where we play 2 copies of. This basically helps us play our Omnimon Zwart for free in our same turn, and it does have a downside where we do have to return it back to the bottom of the deck at the end of the turn, but that is totally okay, because that is the entire combo of Lilith Loop, and that's how you want to play in general anyways. Once you bring out Zwart, you gain so much advantage, and you try to play all the cards along around it with its effect as much as you can, and then swing in with it as well, returning your Lilithmon so that your stack returns to the bottom of the deck. You gain so much advantage already on your board, it doesn't even matter. You're already like way beyond game win condition right there, and you must play 2 copies of this card. Sometimes I even think like bumping up to 3 would be really good as well, but 2 is perfect for now because deck space is tight. And that's basically the whole reason why you play this card. So that basically rounds up our little discussion with all the white tamers and the entire deck profile right here. So as we get into the combo, there's a few things that you really need to make sure that you're aware of, and you have to meet certain requirements and conditions in order to do your combo. So the first and most important thing is that you want to have a level 5. It can be any level 5 on the board, essentially so that you can Digivolve your Lilithmon on top of. So you have your Lilithmon right here, and then you will also have your Omnimon Zwart, and then a Mega Digimon Fusion. Titamon is just an extra in general. And then next you need to have a white tamer so that you can enable you to play your Mega Digimon Fusion. And then moving on next to our trash, you need to have 2 Jack Raids. In addition to the 2 Jack Raids, you also need 10 cards in your trash. That's all you really need. 2 Jack Raids is optimal in order to play this combo, and then you basically get to fire off essentially. So the whole goal is you need to make sure you're at 3 memory. Whether how you get to there, you can be starting at 2, which is fine, as long as you have a Jack Ray in your hand and 10 cards in your trash so you can gain a memory to get there, or somehow you're just generally at 3, it also works. But let's just say you're at 3 at the beginning of the turn, or you get to do something enabling you to be at the 3 speed spot. This is when your combo comes in. You first get to play your Lilithmon right here, and then you draw for Digivolving. It doesn't really matter what you draw. And then afterwards, you basically use her when Digivolving effect, because you do have 10 or more cards in your trash, you get to add your 2 Jack Raids back right here already. So you're right now at 0 memory. So any card I draw, I'm just going to put it aside because it's not going to be that important to talk about, but all those cards you draw are definitely extras that you get to play. Now next, you immediately now get to basically play your Jack Raid right here. So you gain 1 memory from Jack Raid because you got 10 cards in your trash, and you gain another 2 from Lilithmon right here. Now you're basically back at 3 memory. And then what you want to do is play your other Jack Raid right here to gain another 1 memory, because Lilithmon's effect is only once per turn. If it's not, it's going to be way too broken. Now, since you played your options, you can use your Lady Devimon to pop a level 3 Digimon from your opponent's board, which is totally good as well if you get to. But now this is what's next. You want to play your Mega Digimon Fusion, so then you can basically Digivolve your Zwart on top of your Lilithmon. Lilithmon has done its job already right there. So you don't pay anything at all because of Mega Digimon Fusion. You get to draw 1 extra card for Digivolving, and then you get to trash top 3. Again, it doesn't really matter what you trash. So another key thing to identify is make sure to check your trash all the time to see what resources you have that you can allocate before going for this combo, because now you get to play with Omnimon Zwart's combo. And there's a whole lot of things you can do. So first off, you can do for the Genkakumon promote with the Genkakumon and the Kinkakumon combo if you would like. So let's just say we go for that, and you basically get to have put these 2 underneath, and then you also get to gain 1 memory and draw 1 more card right here. So that's just one play cost 8 or less. Next, you can play, let's just say, Skull Greymon. Or no, actually, let's just play Black War Groundmon right here. Very important that you do play a level 5 of some sort, because you're going to be looping your Lilithmon back into your hand, and then you want to be Digivolving again. So this is what you're going to do next here. You're going to go swing in with your Omnimon Zwart, and then into security. You get to return your Lilithmon back to your hand, pop something that's 12 cost or less, and that is unsuspended, and then basically they go for a security check, anything happens, whatever. And then now you have Lilithmon back into your hand. This is why this is called Lilith Loop, because the next thing you get to do is now to pay 3 memory again to play Lilithmon right here, and you get to draw another card. More combos, you get to draw 4 cards already right here. Lilithmon, once again, there should be 10 cards in your trash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, not including the Jack Raids. You get to add the 2 Jack Raids back to your hand again now, and then you basically get to play those Jack Raids once again, making sure you always have a cycle of 10. You play Jack Raid, so Jack Raid will gain a memory because you have 10, and it'll gain another 2 because of Lilithmon once again, and then you get to play another Jack Raid. Oh, gain another memory right here, so you're back at 6. Now, there's a whole lot of things you can do. Your hand is usually more filled up than usual, than just the Titamon, because like we can see right here, your Genkakumon Promote can use the Rush ability. You can also, resolve a bunch of inheritable effects while at it. So right now, if you have your second Zwart, let's just say you do in your hand, which is really nice, you get to play Zwart without using Mega Digimon Fusion in the same turn now. So you can go back to 0, because you have 6 memory, you play another Zwart, you get to draw a card, and then you trash the top 3, and then you go through the whole combo again, and you basically get to play, let's just say we play Skull Greymon this time, because we just want, always making sure we got level 5, and then let's just play, we can play an Ogremon to pop something, but let's just say we play a Gazimon, just because we want to stop, we're against blue, and we want to stop Hammer Sparks, for example. So right here, that Zwart can't attack this turn, which is okay. But then, like, if you get to like do all these combos, you can see how wide your board essentially becomes right here. Now you can even end your turn by putting number 4 to play a Titamon like that, and then draw for Digivolution, and then use Titamon's effect, and then basically end your turn that way. You can see how massive your board is. At the end of the turn, the Zwart does go to the bottom of the deck, which is fine, but then you have like so many bodies and strong bodies on the board in generally, just from this entire Lilith Loop combo, just like that, which is really, really insane and really, really cool and really powerful as a whole combo, and a really fun deck to play with, because it, you can get very, very creative with this entirety of how this build works. That will conclude for my very own deck building strategy and combo guide for the purple Titamon Lilith Loop deck. If you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful, please give it a like, share it with your friends. If you have any suggestions, recommendations, or questions, be sure to share it with everyone in the comments down below. We also got lots more deck profiles coming up, so be sure to hit that subscribe button right now and turn on that notification bell to stay tuned. As always, thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you next video. This is AVAULT, signing out.